discrimination and civil rights unless it benefits people that aren't like him. That's really what it comes to.
Do you think what comes first, fear or hatred?
Well, contempt. Neither of those. Contempt does. So, but can you imagine hating transgender people so much that you think voting for a pederast thief is the right option?
At what point?
Wait, when did he start with the pederast?
Engaged
That's a new one.
in a circular firing squad because all of the options that we just started.
How dare you!
Because I don't think there's any
How dare you support the trans?
Now we have extreme.
That is a racist! And he hates trans people! How can you support such a man? How dare you! Ambivalence!
What did I say, Benjamin? When it comes down to the people I love and myself having existential threats placed over them, hanging over our heads, and I say this as a woman. I think Trump's a threat to women. Basically, I think the Heritage Foundation is a threat to women, and I don't think that can't we all just get along sort of argument holds any water. It's useless. It's pointless, and it's a waste of time.
The can't we get all along kind of thing works until someone tells you who they are. He told you who he was. He volunteered to play the game and go along with it. He told you, I'm transphobic. He didn't write it down in a business card, but he did everything but that. He answered the question when directly asked after LARPing for 15 minutes because I was thinking exactly the same thing as Benjamin. Just tell us why you're protecting this abhorrent person. Why do you need him to win? Whatever your bad idea is, it's Christianity, whatever it is, tell me why you need that to win. What's really the motivator? And he told you the motivator. He didn't really have a national security thing. That was just to get to point number 3. He didn't have 3 points. He needed to have 2 in front of it so he didn't sound absolutely terrible and non-Mr. Rogers-ish. Stop LARPing. Be critical thinkers yourself.
And was he punished after that? I missed it. Was he exiled or?
Are you into punishment? Is that what?
No. What happened to him? I didn't see. Did he get kicked off stage or what happened? Or did he leave?
Yeah, he got moved to the audience.
Why? What happened?
Because I didn't like him. I mean, he was being a d-bag. How we got moved? Sorry, I was going.
I mean, that's only fair because he's willing to throw people out of bathrooms just because he doesn't like them.
Exactly. I'm willing to bet has never in his life seen a trans person, and he certainly has not seen one in his men's bathroom. The thing is, most of the people that wouldn't know it. He'd be taking a shit, and he wouldn't know it. Because you're not running over to the stall next to you and go, hey, is there a penis in there? You're not doing that. Most people that are worried about trans people are white people as small as you see your dick. Right. But no, most people that are afraid of these trans people don't live, I fucking work in WeHo, the gayest fucking city on the face of the earth. I barely interact with trans or even gay people. It's such a rare thing. It happens occasionally. And if you live in fucking dipshit Idaho or something, you're worried about trans people, it's out of your mind. You don't it's like a trans. Not in any circles where you're in some kind of welcoming community where there's going to be trans people feeling comfortable to go in the bathroom while Steve is in there.
Is this a welcoming community?
Joe, why are you being a dickhead in the past?
Whoa!
Joe, you're a dickhead, Joe. Joe, you are a dickhead because you're too pussy to say what it is that's on your mind all the time. Why don't you just...
You guys are really... Wow.
In the chat. No, say what's on your mind. The stage is yours. Say it.
I said, is this a welcoming community?
Yes, Joe, it is bullshit thing.
Thank you, JC. Thank you, JCC. Thank you, JCC. Thank you. Thank you, JCC, for answering the question. Thank you one more time, Joe. Yes, I did. Thank you one more time. I can. Thank you, Romero. Cool.
Joe, just this is grievances. Say it.
Grievance? Do I have to have a grievance to participate? It sounds like you do. It sounds like you do. It's obvious.
I'm just curious.
You
You never want to say anything in public, bro. Like, what's
never want to say anything in public?
You're just asking questions.
Have a one-on-one talk with you.
Like, I said I like small groups too. It's nice to have one-on-ones.
Cool. You like small bathrooms? Good.
I'm getting used to that, man. I mean, it's like there's a lot of gaslighting, a lot of like bullying. It's not even.
Passive aggressive, dude. I'm sure everyone who's ever met you told you you're passive aggressive.
Whoa.
Actually, you're the one making insults and character assessments.
Thank you.
And you did the same thing earlier. You don't seem to have the awareness.
Projection alert!
Awareness to figure that out.
Projection alert!
With that, I'm gonna lose myself to the audience. Thank you so much. We have some smart people here. Thank you so much to the audience. There's theatrically falling on a sword. Tricky did this in just about every
Theatrically passive aggressive move to go to the crowd.
Yeah, we should be. And dude, the most passive aggressive guy I've ever met in my life.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's probably not the public.
We should be intolerant of people. We should be intolerant of people who are intolerant of other people. Like what I mean by that specifically is like, like do you acknowledge that trans people exist? Do they even exist?
No.
If you guys are
People
not,
exist.
no,
But performative men that want to do performance shows in the bathrooms, those men don't exist.
That goes back to like the identity.
Those are called lawbreakers. Hello?
People's identity.
But guys,
Hello?
if you're tolerant, guys.
Hello?
You have to accept the worst people in the world, right? I'm being sarcastic.
Make sure you don't come in the room when Colleen's here and I mod her. I'm sure that might make you too, you might catch a whiff of her pee-pee.
A pee-pee? You might get a whiff of a trans pee-pee and have the joy of a trans pee-pee. Oh, the joy of trans pee-pee.
We're keeping it PG-13.
Golden shower.
Hello?
Drip, drip, drip.
Hello?
He's talking about the plumbing, not the water supply right now.
Still fucking like aghast that that guy voted for Trump over national security concerns. That's just fucking unbelievable. I mean, like all the trade, the terrorists, like the freaking strong arming. I mean, it's insane. Yeah, the energy independence. Trump is not responsible for energy independence. It's just ignorant. Just read a fucking book. One report says that since Trump took office in the second term, the federal government has lost over almost 100,000 jobs in the energy sector, specifically in the energy sector. That should worry people who are concerned about energy independence.
Well, yeah, but the goal is to keep brown people off of healthcare.
I was gonna say, I haven't checked on it. It's like, are they still doing jobs? Because if he fucking canceled all the grants on that, it's right there is a big problem.
I'll let Benjamin have a class moment. It is really just poor people in general disdain poor, but specifically they just assume brown people are poor. So I'll let you that one. I'll concede your point.
Oh, that's very cool. That's right. Right. Race is merely a proxy for what really matters for class. Look, I think listen to me saying I have nuances in here.
But like Tulsa, Oklahoma clearly proves you wrong, right? Because those people had meetings, had money.
I think, contrary to what Cora said earlier, you can care about women and also care about other people. I think you can care about people who else and also care about
Stop trying to kill my kids.
You can virtue signal about children too, Benjamin, use your word earlier, because clearly it's virtue signaling because you don't have some kind of bond with those people. You don't know who they virtue signaling for the unborn people. You are correct. You can have general thoughts about the idea that you don't unborn potential people to be stolen of their potential and let women have their right to vote, right? Of what they want to do with their own body. You can still hold those two ideas too, can't you?
Just like you can hold the idea that you shouldn't be legislating things about that limit access to people based on immutable characteristics, right? And if there's a conflict between, say, women and trans women, that's about relationship building and interpersonal and integrated negotiation between the women and the trans women on a situational basis and on just like a more regional or local basis. And it shouldn't be like in ordinances and codified and all of that, because that kind of shit changes over time, right? It's a social interaction thing. It's not a law.
I wouldn't agree with your second point. There are cases where gender matters, and it's very lazy of you.
Gender or sex, Benjamin? Gender or sex?
And that's, I think, where you're being lazy and not doing the work.
It's blase, by the way.
Also,
Where is
saying that gender never matters? Like, you put these words in people's mouths.
Benjamin, what decisions are so important that Jen has a big role in? Like, I get in governments and schools and hospitals that sex would matter more so than gender.
Well, just take one law in North Carolina as an example. It's a misdemeanor to threaten to assault somebody. I don't know what that means. Let's say you take a
bringing up one example of sort of ill-defined law as your own. Most other places don't do it that way and get along just fine. That's just dumb. But that's your point. Criticize the North Carolina law.
Well, there you go. But are you going to do this for everything? You're just going to find all the places where it's...
Yeah, we fix laws all the time, right? Like,
Yeah, dude.
We're fixing laws. We're always we
fix all
take in
laws.
race-loaded laws and gender-loaded law. We do this all the time, and we continue. That's a good project
In our society.
It protects people.
And I would have to look into it, but I bet in reality, the prosecutors aren't charging differently based on sex. They're not.
This is we go selective
They're
service.
probably being, and this is just like you have all sorts of laws on the books that never get enforced because they're dumb now.
The end distinction in a state. And just all the sports, the BJ.
Hold on, Benjamin. Why is trying to say something? He was trying to say something before. I don't think.
I'll be real quick, Benjamin. It doesn't differ, but there's an important distinction between race and sex. Gender and sex. Gender obviously is a social construct. Sex is not. And on the race thing, Romero, to your point, versus classism, for other people who experience countries, UK, etc., America is actually less classist than many European or British colonies or countries.
Correct.
To make up for it in racist stuff.
Exactly.
Whoever mentioned that was kind of interesting. I'm trying to remember, what was the name of the Labour MP, Corbyn or whatever? Like the night before the results for Corbyn or whatever, it was interesting. I was at like a dinner party, and someone was saying it's starting to flip-flop. Like in the UK, they're not so class conscious, but in the US, it's becoming what UK used to be. And that's very strange. I imagine, I don't know what things was like in British colonies other than the US. I'd like to know more about that. In the UK, class is a big thing. It's entrenched in us. Yeah. But in the United States, it's interesting and strange, and it's weird that, like, you run for a title of nobility and you get to keep it for life. Like, to be a senator, you're always addressed as a senator. One of the ways classism comes out, and you see it in colleges as well, the UK, is through accents. Like, people distinguish who you are, determine and that's who you are based on the accent that you have. Yep, but it was an interesting dynamic. This person was saying it's starting to swing the other way. The United States is behaving like UK in the 20th century and early 20th century and late Victorian and Edwardian and all this. And the UK is starting to become more egalitarian.
Well, other than their speech laws, right? Like you can be arrested for saying "Free Palestine" in public or online.
Where? Here?
In the UK.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like the UK is falling Ridley in terms of speech laws.
Germany's a little touchy about certain words too.
Well, yeah, but they have good reason to censor Nazism, right? Or like,
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of took it a little too far.
Elon would have been prosecuted for what he did at the Republican convention. The symbolism.
Yes, he would have.
That would be interesting if they placed those charges with some who's in Germany, but they really impacted that one. That'd be interesting. I don't know that, like, German law is really complicated. I wonder what this kind of creation would be so well.
I mean, freedom of speech is good, and the right to insult religions, people's ideologies, like that's all good, right? It's when it becomes an action. It's when it becomes an action that it can get really dangerous.
There's an interesting thing I learned from the rector at like a British American church. Like, you're free to do what you with the consequences. I think that's an interesting way to see it. And I like freedom of speech in the U.S. It's very strange. We need to bring back America as a culture. Like, we need to have difficult discussions and discuss them civilly.
I think Marilyn Manson said it best. He said that free speech does not come with a dental plan. Okay.
I just want to say thanks, guys, for this room. I was really feeling despondent in humanity today. I mean, I posted the Martin Luther King quote. I mean, it's in the end, it's not the attack of your enemies, but I mean, the silence from your friends. So I'm glad people actually speaking on against this bullshit.
Where could we watch the Trump? I heard about like this really, really sketchy video. I got the dog thing like off. I'm like visiting one of the most
How was the pita?
right now, so thankfully I have some bits of coverage.
La Jolla?
No, La Jolla's not super low.
Orange County?
Fat fuck. Fat fuck.
Huntington Beach.
That was big on pita.
There we go. Well, 3 tries.
It sounds strange, like it's a surfer town. I don't know. It's just odd. Like it's where like rallies are held. I'm on them.
I have a cousin who lives in Huntington Beach. It's very left leaning, but yeah, he brought me there, and I didn't understand it. I said the same thing. Like this is like a New Hampshire beach town with all the conservatives and stuff.
You would think
Culture has
surfers,
changed really suddenly.
you would think surfers would be like a chill group. It is the most wound up, like angsty, aggressive group of people. Like I didn't surf for a long time just because of surfers. It's like a horrible crowd.
Where? Like, well, I mean, I know like Hawaii, it's pretty hardcore. I know that like parts of LA and certain parts of San Diego get that way, but like for the most part, like SD surfers for the most part are pretty high.
If you go to, well, beach breaks are usually good. If you go to a point break and it's good, you're gonna get yelled at if you're not from there. Like paddle out at steamers or Weed and Sea in San Diego or Malibu or any cool point breaks. And,
Black's
you know, and Black's is awesome. But Black's is world class. But yeah, you'll get your car. People, bunch of places in Santa Cruz. Like I know cars get broken into regularly just because they're not from around. It's whatever. It's just.
Oh, but cars get broken into in Santa Cruz, period.
Yeah,
Right, like.
I never got my car broken into.
That's been strange.
Time that she always wanted. The time that she always wanted.
I mean, in San Francisco, like people will literally break your window for like $8 bill, right? Like I used to live in San Francisco, and I can count in one hand. Well, in a period of 20 years, I probably changed windows, I don't know, 5 times.
Never got any car damage in San Francisco or Santa Cruz, but I did get my car in Berkeley. And got a car stolen once in Berkeley.
LA is like a surprisingly like what's the word? Kind of like cozy and comfy city compared to its reputation. It's known for being like one of the unfriendliest like couple cities in the world, and it's really not like that. I guess unless you end up somewhere sketchy and drunk on accident, then it is another friendly place.
Well, like if you live in San Francisco for like 6 months to a year, right? You learn the street rules really well because it's enforced, right? So like when you park your car, you don't have any suitcases, any backpacks, any laptops, anything. You leave it basically clean inside, right? Or you have it as filthy as you can, and that usually saves you from getting broken into. There's also another sort of unspoken rule in San Francisco that you always have to scan, 2 to 3 feet in front of you,
Did they all take your advice and get double vax, triple
Right,
boosted?
that's just another sort of unspoken rule.
Top reps bringing 100 million a year.
The
Fucking coin,
don't engage the
motherfucker.
homeless people that are losing their shit because the cops aren't really going to do much. That's another rule. There's all these things that you just sort of pick up.
Next time I visit SF, let's have a chat about street smarts for the city. I don't know SF street smarts yet. I just hang out around in Ashbury and I love it.
I feel a little obligated to defend San Francisco. I think reports of shit in the street are a little overrated.
I mean, I lived in the Mission for years.
Yeah,
And
so do I, and I live near there now. But I'm there a lot. But there are definitely sketchy areas, or not. Actually, I don't feel sketchy. It's not like I don't feel at risk in San Francisco in a way that I might in like certain parts of New York, but or used to anyways. But there is just this like weird element that San Franciscans seem to be willing to coexist with.
American.
It's like, dude, that should not be okay. I've seen people shoot up.
It's school American.
But dude's got a needle in his arm. Like people walking by, like it's weird. But the New Yorkers put the weirdest shit on the subways. Like, put your dick back.
These are just like things that are true for like every large metro area in the United States and probably on the entire planet, I could say.
I know it's true a lot. Like the complaints I hear about San Francisco, like any big town, I see that stuff in any state, just to some extent.
Man, the trains in Amsterdam, London, Budapest. I don't know what y'all talking about.
And what's like street smarts for billionaires? I guess that's another reason why Trump is so out of touch from reality. Like, have at least 7 bodyguards forming a ballot.
You have a driver and you don't actually exist on the street. You just go from one building to another.
Yeah, not driver, helicopter.
Yeah, because you might get, somebody might understand all the bad things that you've done and put you to death, like Brian Thompson.
Yeah, I guess it's not a very, like, down to earth kind of existence. Yeah, Trump is very, and he feels like he gets the golden there, but he's really distanced from that reality because helicopters around the heaven.
I read that like the CEOs of especially large companies have really begun to investing more in like personal security details and other types of things after Brian Thompson was killed in the streets.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? We're one of the most armed countries in the world in terms of civilians, and we also have the widening gap between the wealthy and everybody else, right? Like this all seems like when that happened, it almost felt inevitable, right? It does feel inevitable to me that at some point heads roll. And I think that the upper class played their hand a little too blatantly. And that pushback was naturally going to happen.
With the statistics on that era about the correlation between wealth inequality and distribution and crime?
I don't know the statistics, but yeah, like places that have poverty tend to have harsher policing and more crime.
There's that one. I mean, what the data played out is that, I mean, a lot of people see, a strong correlation between poverty and crime, especially in particular areas. However, it's actually exacerbated or more related when that poor area is within proximity of a wealthy area. So it's within a particular region, if there are more poor people, it might actually be less crime than if it was a small amount of poor people or mostly distributed between rich and poor.
I mean, that makes sense. And let me clarify something that like the kind of crime that happens in poverty happens to people in poverty, right? It's crimes against them for the most part. So I just want to be really clear about.
There'll be more cases of executive protection because I mean these, especially with all the layoffs that are happening and displacement, I expect that to get.
Yeah, or some of the mercenary companies like publicly traded. We're really building a dystopia fast. Like, and we really have the technology for a utopia, so dystopia really doesn't make sense.
Oh, huge shit.
It was built. It's not being
shit.
Built. It was built.
Huge shits.
Right, except for
People
like,
that eat huge amounts of food make huge shits. It's the one thing people don't ever think
just
about.
thinking about that, like the 90s, maybe it's about the dystopian future. Oh, go on, Cora.
We don't have the skin color changing technology. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Not yet.
I mean, I always wanted to be like, sort of like iridescent, like lavender, that would be kind of cool.
I think that was the old man with the healthcare shooting, the CEO, is not just that it happened, it's that so many people agree with it. Like, okay, one less.
Can't normalize death. Doesn't matter. Getting out the shower to tell you that.
Well, but I think death has been normalized.
Should not, or that, sorry, say it again.
I just said you never win when you normalize death. It doesn't matter where you fall on the political spectrum.
I agree.
Most
I would say
people
that.
die violently, you never hear about, though. Basically, you only hear about the death of people with publicists for the most part, or blonde women with children, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying whether I agree with it or not. Definitely not. I mean, I was just saying it's interesting how the temperature regarding death has changed. I mean, and there's a lot of cultures who normalize death in different ways. I think one of the sad cases I found out about doing insurance was in China. There was a thing called it was an insurance. I don't remember exactly what the term was called, but basically what would happen is that if you committed a crime against someone and caused physical damage or handicap or disability or whatever, you would be responsible for that person's welfare for the rest of their life. So what would happen is that a lot of people, whenever they did cause harm to a particular individual, like in a car accident or whatever, they would make sure that they actually die. The reason being, at least it would just be one payout versus full life responsibility.
Damn.
People like, for example, you got hit on the street, they would reverse the car over the person to make sure that it actually died.
God damn.
It's like the Dave Chappelle piece that he did on OJ. He's like, I'm not saying I don't understand. Right? When Nicole was killed, he's like, look, I ain't condoned it. He's just saying he understands it. It's the same thing with the insurance case.
I mean, in some ways, right, death is completely normalized in the United States. It just depends on who's dying, right? So, like, if a lot of poor people die because they don't have access to healthcare. Everyone, that's part of the plan. And everyone's cool with it, except for the people that aren't. Right? But you shoot one CEO,
The oligarchy.
but you shoot one CEO, and everybody loses their shit. Or
Like a super.
but I mean, conceptually, right? Like that's true. That violence from the oligarchs, from the wealthy, from the government to the poor is completely normalized and mostly accepted in society. And the few times that there's been a real pushback, right? You get gun laws in California. Gun laws happen when people who normally discriminated start firing back.
Yeah, I think the most famous example of that is probably the Black Panther Party during the Civil Rights era. Like, what was like one of the first